So those are my analysis on EDG versus Gen G. We're going to be focusing on Gen G's macro and Gen G's Astra pick, and kind of how that falls into the meta in some ways and like how it works. We're going to start off with round 6, and all the teams have buys. There's a KO, but I don't think it's really relevant to this round, if I remember correctly. And macro-wise for Gen G, we have 4 players over towards main. I guess you can get this is mid. And Texture is going to walk up tube. And we've got 3 players towards A for Gen G, and they're going to try and find some players early on. So we have a fake flash for the KO from the KO towards door, which means that they're kind of trying to fake the mid aggression. And then that should, in their minds, right, hopefully that should pull these players here, or it should just like fake the aggression here. So if no one's seen that, then it might put the main players at a bit more ease of like where the play is taking place. And now that that's kind of happened, EDG are going to go for a play in A main. Try and capitalize on potentially the security they built from this flash. Doesn't really work out. No one's there to be punished. Lakia kind of dodged it by throwing some shocks in a little corner. And as you can see, Gen G are actually rotating. And during this rotation, Kang is going to try and push and punish. Unfortunately, he's the one that gets punished. And I do think that Gen G did a really good job of neutering his aggression in this game. And Gen G have Texture inserted here, and generally they really like having him inserted into tube, and if not him, someone else. They really like having some presence in here. And usually it's not Karon. As far as I've seen, Karon really likes to control the rest of the map. So wherever the main bulk of the 3 are, he's going to be in the opposite sort of place. Just kind of how lurking kind of is, just to help control the map and not give up too much space, with it, at least without you knowing. They're going to fake B, and then they're going to come back A, and Texture's kind of waited to be activated at this point. He's just kind of waiting, ready to be activated when the actual fake comes through. So Karon's going to take main, and then the rest of the team is going to go through mid, while Texture is going to walk up tube, and soon we'll see the Astra smokes come in as well. I think Chichu maybe could have called nobody away by now because no one came out. Actually, maybe not by now. I think at this point, when the pit goes, not the pit, when the wall goes down, I think nobody could be called to go over. I think he actually does go over, or at least he thinks about it. Okay, I know the actual like hit has been activated. 3 players are going through door. Karen's going to go slow main, and Texture is going to go walk up tube and open the door over here with the switch. So you can actually see some of the pair of Astra here as well. With the Viper wall on B, we can still take like decent space. We have that second smokes, so we can still take this sort of space, right? Obviously, it's like more space, than what a Viper wall would be if you had a Viper wall like this, right? You're still going to take like this space extra with these Astra smokes, but these Astra smokes are really, really good. Allow you to get up tube and allow you to kind of fight for stairs, fight for yellow. I think Astra does have some like real value on this map. When you want to do like these macro plays like this, or these like fakes and things. Texture does overheat a bit here. I think he could have just like played a bit further back in tube and waited, and he would have probably got a kill on a cross in tube, or at least had a bit more of a chance to get that kill. And the plane goes down, and it's pretty difficult for the EDG players to win this. So I think they end up trying to save and end up not being able to. Oh, maybe Chichu does. I can't remember. No, he ends up dying. Okay. Next round is actually just the next round. It's actually a string of 3 rounds I'm going to show. This round, there is multiple ults on EDG, and then there's also basically it's not very good buy generally. I know we have knives coming up here, but I'm pretty sure that Kang does get his hands on an op next round. And it's obviously a buy. Over here we have Silver ult. So we're going to start off with a very big A main aggression. You can see Texture actually dashed forward there with the flash to really, really sell this A main aggression. And as you can see, Karon's going to be away from his team, and there's also going to be some tube presence from Munchkin. Brent. So they're just kind of having this like they're doing like this fast A main aggression, and then they're just going to wait. So now they've swapped the aggression, swapped the players. So Yoru is going to actually sit, Meteor is going to sit in tube. Just so I think Munchkin can go do some other things. I think he's just controlling like super far flank right now. He's going to throw his orb for these 2 players. I think Texture just actually ended up dying, yeah. And then, so the orb is up now as well, from Viper. So instead of throwing this orb, he threw this orb. Basically just like a default sort of Viper pit, or Viper wall, Viper orb. And just allows Texture to, not Texture, it allows Meteor to walk up. I think it would be Texture, but Texture ended up dying. And Karon gets a very, not easy, but he gets a very fortunate situation here where Kang does have his gun out, and then Chi only has a sheriff, and also he's not in the greatest of positions. Chi actually plays it quite well with this movement here, to get what he got, but fortunately doesn't quite get the kill. And now I think Karon plays this pretty well. So he gives a smoke to himself, because in his mind, right, these two players, maybe even these three, actually no, these two players, I think in his mind, from looking at the previous rounds, these two players are probably A players, so he expects them to kind of be in this sort of region. So he's going to put a smoke for himself to defend himself, and then he's going to wall for his teammates to go out. So he's fully expecting the enemy team to be in this sort of region. And then I'm pretty sure that he expects that the enemy team are going to try and push him first, because he's solo, and they should know he's solo. So they're going to try and punish him by pushing his smoke. Unfortunately, he doesn't quite read what the play is actually going to be, which is going to be that one's going to be Nest. Kill him there instead. I don't think he really realised that, but honestly, that was a really good play by Karon overall. And they end up getting the win with Meteor shooting pretty well. And that's kind of it for that. I think the macro there, like they just wanted to do like a really nice A split, and Karon are going to late flank. But honestly, they just got kind of, I think EDG got really unlucky with the timings of everything. And honestly, Genji did some shooting at round 2. Honestly, or at least Meteor on the last kill. So the final round we're going to look at is going to be this round 7, or round 8, sorry. And both teams full buys, 4 ults on EDG. And 1 Yoru ult on Genji. So we're going to use the Yoru ult basically instantly, and this just clears out A site basically. Because Kang is actually going to go for a nice flank in mid, or at least he's going to go for like a deep mid sort of aggression. Unfortunately, the server doesn't get anything, and they get a very early plant. So the plan for this was to get a very early plant, because they wanted to use the Viper Pit, which is being used here. So this Viper Pit, I think, is one of the better ones for post plant, but I think in general it doesn't give a whole lot of pressure. Like if you wanted to give a lot of pressure, you would do one over near door probably. But I think this one is pretty good. Works pretty well. Post plant wise, he's not really going to have much problems. I also like as well that this smoke exists too from the Astra. This Astra smoke is really good. Just stops them from like wanting to go into the pit this way, or just like into this area this way. Like without the pit even, like this smoke is really good because it just forces them into backside basically. I think it's really good smoke. You can also see Karon is on a very deep lurk right now. Not exactly deep this way, but he's like very far from everyone. Like he's just watching for a potential like lurk from Chicho, I think. And eventually this will actually get a lot of value. I think the reason why he's allowed to go for this really long lurk, which is not really that normal or conventional, is because this pit is very obstructing for the enemy team. Very difficult to retake into it. Along with also the agents on the enemy team too, on Genji, have so much delay that you have shocks, you have suck, and you have the mollies. Not on top of that as well, you have Yoru flashes to try to get through as well, which are difficult. And with Texture still being alive too, you have a Jet taking a first fight and dashing away to worry about too. So there's just a lot of things to worry about in this retake. So in the end, they don't actually go for it, because Haodong ends up dying, and they don't really have like that much to use. Like they've already used the Chaos at this point, and it didn't really get any value. Like no one went in or anything, so they're kind of struggling to actually break through this pit. So you can actually see the call there. Everyone's running back. It's time to leave. We're gonna save. And this is where the deep lurk gonna get activated. Whether it was meant to punish them for saving, or just meant to go around like this and then punish them afterwards. I'm pretty sure that's what the intended play was. He just kind of got lucky that once again Kang doesn't really have his gun out, and then he's dead. And it was really well played from Karon as well to get those kills. And Lakia comes and helps, drops down the tube. Very good round by Genji, macro wise as well. With Karon, I think Karon is one of the best players at the tournament. And I think that Gen G's use of Astra definitely shows a lot of promise on attack side. Gen G have kind of become one of my favorite teams to watch. Now I really like watching Karon play. I really like watching the team macro wise. I think they're one of the best teams. I think looking at all the teams now, I would probably say that Sentinels and Gen G are going to be the finalists over KC. But I don't know. We'll have to see. All I know is that I'm going to be really enjoying watching all the Gen G games. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.